Hello lovelies, welcome back. Are you ready for this little beauty? This is my really old school mac and cheese. Alright, what we're going to need for it is we're going to need 2 cups of uncooked macaroni. Now I've just grabbed all the different macaronis that I had and I've thrown them in together. Alright, so 2 cups of that. Now I use about 5 slices of bacon, the tops of bacon. If you can't get bacon, try and use ham. You can fry some chicken, you can throw some tuna in. This is a really good base to make whatever you want out of it. It's awesome when you haven't got much left in the cupboards. Alright, I like using 1 small green capsicum, but if you've got red, it's fine. I think they also call them peppers. We need 1 small onion. Now we need 300 grams of condensed tomato soup. So not tomato soup, condensed tomato soup, okay? Roughly a 300 gram tin. We need our salt and pepper. Now I've got 2 cups of grated cheese here. I'm just using pizza cheese today, but you can use any cheese you've got in the cupboard or the fridge, mate. Just whack it in there. 2 cups, and we're going to need a little bit extra for on top. Now if you're not familiar with this is called Kraft cheddar, okay? Now this is wrapped in alfoil, and you will find it on your shelf. So this one goes in your cupboard. So I always use these when I go camping, and I love always having one in the cupboard for when you run out of cheese. So because it doesn't have to be in the fridge, it can just stay in there forever, and they are so handy. So where you get your Vegemites and your strawberry jams and that from, you will find these there somewhere. Definitely grab one and put it in the cupboard. Now these are brilliant for cheese sauces, but I'm going to save mine for when we've got nothing, so we've got cheese in the cupboard. Okay, some mustard and paprika, some flour, plain flour. We need at least a cup of milk. Now we need 90 grams of butter. Now with the butter, if you're new to cooking, I've been cooking for a while before I even noticed they did this. So if you get your blocks of butter, okay, and you look on it somewhere, you'll actually see they've got a measurement on down one side here. This one goes in 50 gram lots. So if I need 100 grams of butter, rather than trying to weigh it out, I can just cut 100 grams off. They make it so much easier. So yeah, if you're new to cooking and you didn't notice that before, look on your blocks of butter and you'll see measurements there. Let's cook. First thing we're going to do is our mac. We're going to chuck it in boiling water and we're going to cook it until it's just cooked, okay? We don't want mushy mac and cheese. So this is probably the most important thing out of everything. So boil her up, keep trying a piece until it's just nice and soft, just cooked. Take it off, rinse it out with lots of hot water and leave it sitting in your strainer and set it aside. So while our pasta's cooking, I've chopped up the onion, the capsicum and the bacon or chicken or whatever you've got. Now we're going to fry it up and we're going to set it aside. Now if you're going to use tuna, you can just throw that in right at the end. First thing we need is a big saucepan. We want to put our 90 grams of butter in there. And we're just going to sit it on the stove top for a minute. So next what we're going to do is going to get 1/4 cup of plain flour. We're going to put some salt and pepper in there. We're going to put 1 teaspoon of dry mustard on top. And we're going to put 1/4 teaspoon of paprika on there. We're going to crack open our can of condensed tomato soup. And we're going to leave that sitting there so it's ready to go. We need to get 1 cup of milk ready to go. And we need to get some Worcestershire sauce and a teaspoon measurement ready to go. And we need to get our cheese. And we are all ready. Alright, you're going to have to excuse the light on my stove top. It's terrible. I've got little lights hanging all over the joint trying to do what I can. Alright, so the first thing we do is I've got an electric stove top, so I'll put mine on 4. Alright, and we're going to melt our butter down. Once our butter's melted down, it's not quite hot yet. We're going to sprinkle over our flour mix. Now I like to use the same one I was using to fry up everything. So I like using like a flat sort of one to really give it a go. Alright, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to put our flour mix in there, right? And we're going to mix it up really well. And as soon as it gets hot enough, it'll start boiling and foaming. Now we only want it to foam like that for 1 minute just to cook the flour out. Okay, it's been bubbling away for a minute. I just want to try and show you how it looks. So I'll see if I can get out of the way for a second. Just to see, can you see how it's all foamy? Okay, and we've got to keep constantly doing it. Alright, it's been a minute. So we've now cooked our flour out. Okay, see how it's like, huh? All foamy. Okay, so now what we want to do is we want to get our milk. And we want to slowly pour it in. And we want to stir vigorously. Fast. Stir fast. And patience is a virtue. It'll go a little bit lumpy. It's okay. You can get it back from that. Alright, so just keep mixing and slowly get it in there. Okay, now as it heats back up, it'll start to thicken. It won't thicken a lot, but it will thicken a little bit. Once it's thickened a little bit, we're going to take it straight off the stove top. But leave your stove on because it's going straight back on again. Alright, this will literally only take up to a minute. Alright, so now I can make patterns in it so that is thick enough, okay? So now we take it straight off the heat for a minute. Yeah, so now you can probably see less. I'm sorry about that. Okay, so the next thing we do is we add our tomato soup and stir that in. I'm so sorry that it's so dark. Alright, stir our tomato soup in first, then we're going to throw our cheese in and we're going to stir that in, and then we're going to stick it back on the heat just for a couple of minutes until you can see that all the cheese is melted. Okay, cheese is melted in beautifully. Okay, next thing we do, everyone coming all at once and it's like, give me a minute. Alright, is now we add our add our bacon, capsicum and onion next. Mix that in really well. We add our cooked mac and mix that in really well. Once we've mixed that in really well, we want to put 1 teaspoon of Worcestershire sauce in there, and we want to mix that in really well, and then we want to get out our oven dish and put it in there. Okay, preheat our ovens to 180 degrees Celsius. Now, put some cheese on top, as little or as much as you like. Then we get some breadcrumbs. I'm just using our homemade ones, and you sprinkle them on. And this is what makes it nice, that crunchy, beautiful top on it. Okay, she is ready to go. So as soon as the oven's hot enough, we're going to whack it in there for about 30 to 40 minutes. All we're doing is we're just doing it to get that, make it really hot through and to get that nice, crunchy, beautiful cooked top on it. Now, if you're going to do what I'm doing next, is I'm going to make a heap of these today. This is what I've made in this because we're going to, I'm going to feed the family with it. But after I put this one in and I make the next lot, what I'm going to do is get these cases. I'll just move that here for a minute. The oven's heating up. Now these here, see these sort of ones? I just buy them. They're in packs of 2 throwaway ones, and they've got those Alforti type lids. So what I would have done then is I would have filled that in there, put the cheese and the breadcrumbs on. I would cook these exactly the same way and bring them out. When they're completely cold, I'd put the lids on them, right on them, and freeze them. And whenever you've got someone coming over, like next weekend's Father's Day, so I'm going to make a heap of these up and freeze them so they're ready to go. But if you've got someone coming over or you've got nothing in the cupboards, you can pull one of these out. You can put it straight in from frozen at 180 degrees, usually about 50 minutes or so. Then you take the lid off and leave it in there for another 10-20 minutes to go all beautiful on top again. And they're so handy. They're great to have as side dishes for meals, and they're great, like the kids just smash it on its own. Boom, 35 minutes later and you have got yourself something really yummy. Alright, so I would say 4 huge plates it serves up, or 6 to 8 side dishes if you're going to use it to cook with something else. Oh man, it's so good. It's so cheap, easy to make, absolutely tasty as. Thank you guys so much for watching. Have yourselves an awesome day, and you know me, I will be back. Bye.